Where are you going,
Zeka.
Holmes? Have you been invited somewhere?
We have been invited, Watson.
We
Nereye?
have. Where to?
Sarıya
Baker
mı?
Street Irregulars annual dinner. They sent us
Ha.
an invitation. It is on the table.
Baker
dinner.
sokağı çatısı.
How could those street urchins afford anything like that? I can't understand your interest in them, Holmes. They're dirty. They wouldn't hesitate to steal your wallet.
Watson, you should be excited. It is a secret dinner. Its location changes every year. Read the menu. Sounds mouth-watering.
All right. We, the secret police of Baker Street, invite you, Sherlock Holmes,
Evet.
and Dr. Watson to our annual dinner. Menu, entree, frozen rat head salad. Is this a joke?
Not at all. Pray continue.
Main course, sow's udder in Danny Nutcracker's way. Ah, sounds disgusting, Holmes. Hedgehog goulash. Street turnips in homemade juice. And it goes on.
Ah, I can hear them on the stairs now.
Oh, we can't go there. We can't eat that.
Watson, you'll hurt the feelings of those poor children. We have to go.
Oh, Mr. Holmes.
It is fine, Mrs. Hudson.
Mr. Holmes.
Wiggins, Dr. Watson is getting ready. He will be delighted to join us. You don't look well, my young man. Is there
Ne
something
oldu?
wrong? Don't tell me the dinner is cancelled.
Mr. Holmes is my brother Leighton. He's in a prison cell. They say he's killed 2 men. You have to help us, Mr. Holmes, because I know he didn't do it.
Where is he now?
From what I've heard, they took him to the yard, and they gave him a good beating already. You know what they're like. They'll hang him. They won't look any further.
Holmes, we have to help him.
And forget about the dinner? Wiggins, I'll take the case.
You're fantastic, Mr. Holmes. I'll be waiting for you at the crime scene. You'll be there, right?
Geleceğim
It's on Half
geleceğim.
Moon Street in Whitechapel.
Very well.
Üf, aptal Whitechapel. Hatırlıyorum burayı. Okay, dude.
Locked.
Bakalım neymiş olay.
Please, gentlemen, leave the scene now. Oh,
Evet,
Good
benim.
evening.
Constable Marrow. I was here with Inspector Aberline during the Ripper case, Mr. Holmes, back in '88. But then this is nothing like that case. With this one, we've got the murderer, the weapon, and the statements, which speak for them.
Of course, Mara. But you know that appearances...
Kurbanlar.
The 2 men here, both shot. The stab fellow was Brian Vercotti. a
Kabadayı,
well-known
diğeri mücevher tüccarı. Görgü
You
tanıkları.
spoke of...
Well, I was there, so I gave my own statement.
Chapman.
And then there were 2 other witnesses who said they saw the killer chap. Mr. Turner, a gentleman who lives in that flat over there. And Polly Powell, a flower seller, who was...
So, Constable Mara...
I was standing at the north side of Half Moon Street.
But you would have been unable to observe this part of the street.
That is correct. But I saw the 2 victims slowly enter Half Moon Street. And then, a few minutes after that, the fellow Chapman rushed towards me and ran into Half Moon Street.
Please continue.
I didn't pay attention, but suddenly I heard a woman's cries and I rushed over there and I saw the 2 dead bodies on the ground. When I reached Whitechapel Street, I saw Leighton Chapman.
Okay, silah sesi.
Did you...
I didn't hear any shots. The fireworks were all over the sky. There was
Okay, havai fişekten duyamadık. Havai
What were the
fişekler.
fireworks in...
well,
Kraliçe Victoria'nın doğum günü.
yes,
Aa,
I
öyle
appear
mi?
to have lost...
Yarım aydaki
Constable
detaylar.
Mara, what else caught your attention?
I saw nothing but rats, and I took the time to light.
Bay Turner'ın
Did you happen to
penceresi.
look up at Mr. Turner's window?
Yes, I saw that the window was open, but
Okey.
Constable, your statements have been of great value to...
Çok büyük önem taşıyor, evet.
The bullet
Tarafsız
struck his head.
birisinden.
This man didn't... This is an ordinary key.
Bir kağıt var nerede?
A piece of wood that has stuck between the cobblestones.
Baston gibi bir şeye benziyor.
Thi-
Belki de. Tüccara bakalım.
He tried to stop the bleeding with his hand.
O göbekten de maşallah
He
nasıl öldü acaba?
The bullet penetrated his stomach.
Dövme mi
A
var?
tattoo from Westgate Prison. Vacotti must have done... Brian Vacotti suffered greatly. What a...
Yazık. Acı çekmiş bir de. Ne kötü.
Good evening.
I heard Constable Marrow reply to you as
Evet,
Mr.
ben oyum.
Holmes.
Excellent.
İfade.
Could you tell us everything that you...
I was already in bed when the fireworks started.
Please continue.
I quickly got up and I grabbed the lamp from my nightstand. I looked down and I saw
Savaş
two bodies.
gazisi mi?
Where exactly?
Near this
Bakacağız
body.
şimdi.
Did he notice you?
Kırım Savaşı, savaş kıdemlisi. Ah be. Sen ülke için savaş canını feda etmeye razı gel ama devlet sana bakmasın. Hoş geldin Doruk, ne haber?
Mr. Turner, did you see anyone else in the street? Were the two shots you heard...
Yes, there was a very short pause between. It seemed to me that the second shot was louder than the
Lan bunlar
first.
birbirine mi sıktı
That is an
acaba?
interest... Mr. Turner, what were your actions after you
I was afraid that the man with a gun might return, so I stayed close to the window till I saw the police.
You have helped us a great deal, Mr. Turner.
Evinde bakamıyor musun?
I'll do anything to save my brother, Mr. Holmes.
Tamam, bir duru yapacağız işte bir şeyler. Nerede bu çiçekçi karı? Polly.
Mrs.
İyi.
Howell?
Benden değil.
What do you want?
My name is Sherlock Holmes.
Well, I've already gave my test.
Could you tell us everything that you may have seen or heard?
Yes, yes. I was selling my... But then, all of a sudden, a young lad ran out of Half Moon Street. He
Oh.
was like a ghost, and all covered in blood. It was dark, but
And then?
I screamed as loud as I could. I knew that a policeman should be... He had no time to escape. Then another constable came out from the very same street, and I heard...
Mrs. Powell,
I'm not sure. You know, what with the fire...
Tamam, başka kimse var
did you see
mıydı?
anyone else leaving?
No, sir. I did not. Even with all the fireworks, I was...
My thanks to you, Mrs. Powell.
Sherlock, evet. Karanlık şey. Önce Gudur'un memur ifadesiyle tartışıyor çünkü memur pencerede kimseyi görmediğini söyledi. Bro. Niye yalan söyledin? Tabii ki var.
Mr. Turner, you have stated that you
İkinci
remained
oyunda
close by
geliyor
your
Watson.
window after the crime. Is that correct?
Oh, yes, Mr. Holmes. I stayed at my window until the policeman arrived to examine the dead bodies.
That is very interesting, Mr. Turner. Constable Marrows.
Well, I think Constable Marrow and me, we could have missed each other somehow. You understand what I mean? It was a bit of a stressful moment, to tell you the truth, sir.
Öyle mi?
Allow me to form my own theories, Mr. Turner. Would you mind showing me the view that you had from your...
Not at all, Mr. Holmes. Please, follow me.
Bay iş para mı? Erkek mi kız mı peki? O ne demek be? Tabii ki de
Mr.
erkek.
Turner appears to live very modestly. Mr. Turner was roused from his bed by the sound of gunshots.
Eve bak ya, korkunç gerçekten. Aha!
A perfect match. So, Mr. Turner broke his stick when it became stuck between the cobblestones.
Ben baston demiştim.
The books on this shelf are in a mess.
Watson değil, o şeydir, Moriarty'dir belki. Şeyde Moriarty'yi öyle yaptılar çünkü. Enola Holmes'te.
This kitchen knife is quite sharp. There are pieces of shredded paper scattered over the table.
Eller yukarı! Tutuklusun.
So, that's the view Mr. Turner had when he opened the window. The dead body of Kenneth Butler. Brian Vercotti's contort. Mr. Turner had a perfect view of the crime scene. He saw the bodies clearly, and Leighton Chapman.
Anything else you would like to know, Mr. Holmes?
Aha.
This fire is dying out. It was last 10.
Bir şey yanıyor.
The papers are almost entirely burnt.
İnceleriz.
These words are... The papers were thrown into the fire just a short while ago.
Kırık çubuğu yerleştir. Bir şeyi al. Of. Şimdi oldu mu? Bir şey aldı oradan. Sonra bunu yerleştirdi. Kağıt aldı, kesti, attı. Evet, yaptık.
So Mr. Turner used a book to hide an object that he found on Kenneth Butler's body. The question is, what did he find?
Yağlı izler.
I can see prints from greasy fingers upon the cover of... Well now,
Was
what a
ist
find! A
das?
precious jewel concealed inside a book. A bracelet with unique ram's head design. A distinctive feature.
Şerefsiz herif. Hiç utanmıyorsun değil mi? Sen! Yakalandın. Ama sen öldürmedin. Sen katil değilsin.
Mr. Turner, how would it be possible for a man of advanced years, such as yourself,
Well, I'm able to move very quickly despite my age. And when the situation requires
Nasıl
it, Mr.
cevap bu
Holmes.
ya? Q.
I understand.
Well, I'm able to
Sus,
move very
sus.
quickly despite my age. And when the situation requires it, Mr. Holmes.
I highly doubt that, Mr. Turner. It would have taken at least 10 seconds for you to approach the window. That means you could have easily missed something or someone in half.
You're right, Mr. Holmes. I could have missed something. But it did seem to me that everything happened so quickly.
And what of
Söyle
everything
haydi dayı,
else that you
söyle.
told us? Mr. Turner,
Mr. Holmes, I do assure you that the other things I said were most sincere.
La havle ve
Mr.
la.
Turner, you were not sincere with me. Not then and not...
But Mr. Holmes, I can explain.
No, merely correct me if I am wrong. But you also noticed a glittering object on the ground. You walked down and took the bracelet from the body of Kenneth Butler. And when you heard the whistles, you hurried away. That broke your walking stick. It caught fast between the cobbles.
Mr. Holmes, please don't send me to prison. I did. When I chanced upon the bracelet, I saw it as an opportunity to make a little money.
You made a mistake by lying to me. But you are not a criminal.
Ha, buymuş. Ulan ismini hiç görmedim. Bu muhteşem ve antika mücevher Yunan hazineleri koleksiyonu. Lan Yunanmış işte. Niye şey yapıyorsun ki? Her bir saf altından yapılmış. Mitille'nin 5 keçisi müzede kayıptır 85'ten beri.
Here it is.
Here it is. Neyine
I
değil.
need to continue my research in my archives. That is not the one I need.
Helenistik hazineler koleksiyonu kare milyon 1885'ten beri kaybolmuşlar. Yunan hazineleri çalındı. Yunan hazineleri dün akşam İngiltere Müzesi'nden Glassford Güzel Sanatlar Sergisi'ne arabayla indirilirken çalındı. Church sokağında rehin dükkanı sahibi Kenneth Butler o gece Scotland Yard ile irtibat kurdu ve bir adamın kendine tarihi eşyalar satmaya çalıştığını bildirdi ve polis tarif edilen adamı yakaladı. Vincent Foley adındaki profesyonel bir hırsız Londra'dan kaçmaya çalışırken limanda enselendi. Adamın Yunan hazinelerini çalan kişi olduğunu arabanın şoförü doğruladı. Vincent Foley geriye kalan hazinelerin yerini söylemeyi reddetti. Sonuç olarak hapise atıldı. Kayıp hazineler hala bulunmayı bekliyor. Nasıl haber sundum? Çok
Here
iyi.
it is.
Here it is.
One of the victims, Kenneth Butler,
Kenneth Butler.
was involved
Kaybolan
in the story of the
rehin
stolen
dükkanına
Hellenistic
yapabileceğim bir
treasures.
ziyaret. Bunun
A
daha
visit to his
fazlasını
pawn
okey.
shop.
Gidelim hemen tefeci hop. İncele. Anahtarı kullan.
Mr.
Ooh.
Butler's key matches the lock perfectly.
Yani mükemmel şekilde açısı dedi. Biraz şaşkınım.
A flare pistol.
Niye?
Perhaps it was pawned by a destitute.
İlgini çeken obje. Onunla deneme yapacağız muhtemelen bu arada. Aha!
The ram's heads. Interesting.
Ulan ya. Bu kadar büyük şeyleri çalmayı nasıl hiç şey yapmıyorlar? Korkmuyorlar. Hulo Kenneth, bana kadim Yunan'dan gelen 3 parça koçbaşı figürlü altın mücevherlerden bahsettiğini hatırlıyorum. Hala onlar elinde, öyle değil mi? Güzel, senin için haberlerim var. Çıldıran yağlı bir müşteri buldum. Servisinin bir kısmını bayılmaya hazır. Bu ayaklı para çantasıyla sana bir görüşme ayarlayabilirim ama ben de pay isterim. Yarım ay sok... Canım şey istedi ya. Ispanak böyle bol yoğurtlu. Bir anda. Pazar akşamı Great Ali and Yarım Ay sokağının kesiştiği yerde havai fişeklerden önce seni bekliyor olacağım. Brian Workcott. Üçüncü bir kişi girdi araya.
It looks as though Mr. Butler
Detaylı kaydını tutuyormuş. Yarım Ay sokağına kayıp Turner'ın cebenden aldığı yüzük hala kayıp. Tamam. Yüzüğü biri çaldı. O halde şu da bizim çocuğa mı attı? Çıkamıyorum. Raflar.
crampons and a sharp ice axe would only be brought here by a mountaineer.
Mr. Holmes,
I'm interested in the case of young Leighton Chapman.
I beg your pardon. That case is quite clear to the...
Who knows in...
Look, you are free to investigate, of course, Mr. Holmes. Chapman was arrested with a revolver in his possession, which you can find in the evidence room.
Did you find anything?
A few personal belongings.
Thank you.
Önemli olan yüzüğün onun yanında olması. Yüzük yoksa sıkıntı.
A cheap watch. So this is the gun that Leighton was holding when he was caught by the... It seems as though the shells were not removed from the cylinder. It seems... Two out of the 6 shells have... These cigarettes are filled with...
Farklı atış diyor. Ancak 3 atış yapıyor. İlk olarak teker ateş edildi ve sonrasında ikisiyle aynı anda ateşlendi. Turner 2 atış arasında farklı duymuş. Sanki yarım ay. Bakalım. Göreceğiz. Bakacağız. Göreceğiz. Başka uzun zamandır kayıp sanat. 2 kurban. Genel ifade. 6 patları. Muhtemel katil. Diyebiliriz. Bakalım başka var mı? Birleştirebileceğimiz. Başka bir şey yok zaten. Ha, bir daha mı birleşiyor bu? Ha, aynı kişi tarafından, evet.
Please escort this suspect.
Escort this
Good evening,
suspect.
Mr. Chapman.
Who are you? I've got nothing to say.
Calm down, Leighton. I have come here to help you. To find out...
My brother. You know him?
Sherlock...
Oh, blimey. All right, Mr.
Hikayene gelelim.
I left my work and I hurried up to see the fireworks in Whitechapel. I was late, so I decided to cut through Half Moon Street. I saw the first fireworks light up in the sky. I bumped into a constable on a corner before entering Half Moon. Then suddenly, what with all the firework flare, I saw 2 men. They were both lying flat in the middle of the street. I stopped where I was. I thought about turning back to the police, but as I was thinking of that, I saw a third person. He was leaning over the body that was furthest from me. The second I saw him, he raised his head and he stared at me. In a flash, I saw his gun, but he made a dash for it instead and he escaped through Whitechapel Street.
Allah Allah.
So you might still have had time to return to the constable.
I panicked. I didn't know what to do. Anyway, I approached the bodies just to see if they were still alive. I saw that one had blood pumping out of his stomach. He was dying. It was horrible. The second one was already dead. He had a hole in his head. He was holding a gun in his hand, though. I took it, and then I followed the third man.
Interesting. Pray, continue.
I turned a corner, and I saw the man standing in the middle of the street. He seemed to be in some sort of panic. And then, Mr. Holmes, something strange happened. I told the police and they laughed at what I said, but I swear to you, my words are true. I started running towards him. But then I was blinded by a flash. It was so bright that I hardly saw anything for a good dozen seconds. But I kept running forward. As I arrived in Whitechapel, I heard a woman screaming. And then I was caught by the police. But there wasn't a trace of that man. Of course, then they found a gun and all that blood. I couldn't see the murderer escaping and all that mess. Perhaps I was still
Diğerleri nasıl hiç görmemiş ya? Ne garip bir
A
olay
thrilling
be.
account, my young man. Leighton, are you able to describe the...
Well, I wasn't able to see his face at all. It was too dark. Nothing so special. He was wearing a jacket.
I see.
No. But perhaps... It's strange, but I can't remember.
Ayak seslerini mi hatırlayamaz? Patenle mi yaptı? Ofis kağıdı mı? Çocuk çalışıyormuş bir de ya ofiste falan. Aynı hapistenler bir de.
Leighton, I confess I am puzzled. Why should a young lad like you take a gun from the hands of a dead man and
Adamı
set
tanıyor
off in
muydu
pursuit
acaba
of a
bu?
probable
Çünkü aynı
killer?
hapistelermiş.
I know. I keep wondering that, but at the time it was like a reflex. A criminal ought to be arrested, and he was armed.
You were willing to risk your life. That was a little foolish, unless you wanted revenge.
No, Mr. Holmes. I was just being brave and stupid.
I'm sure that you were, but I believe that you may have recognized one of the victims, Brian Vercotti. You knew that gentleman well, did you not?
However could you know
Elinde
that?
dövme var ikinizin
You
de.
have a
Elinizin
typical
ortasına
tattoo of the
yaptırmışsınız bir de
Westgate
yani.
Brotherhood upon your hand. I observed exactly the same mark upon Mr. Vercotti. You came to know him from your sharing a past prison sentence. Am I correct, Mr. Chapman?
God. You're right, Mr. Holmes.
Ne yani olay?
Would you tell me a little about Brian Vercotti?
We were convicted for a robbery. Once in prison, both of us joined one of these fraternities. During that year, we tried to help each other out, you know?
You were quite young then, I believe.
Yes, Mr. Holmes,
I
we were.
believe.
We'd only stolen a pound of meat. After we were released and when I saw what my little brother had become, I decided to work towards living an honest life.
And
Oğlum et
Vercotti?
çaldı diye içeri
He had a hard
atmışlar.
time. His sister had died in a Whitechapel dispensary while he was in prison. He had no family anymore. Our paths split. He fell back into crime.
So you lost him?
Yes. And for around 2 years, I heard no news of him at all.
Ah be.
We shall see you soon, young man.
Ah be. Uyuşuyor. Kendini aklamak için böyle bir kişi yarat. Lan öyle bir şey olabilir mi? Ha bunda 3. kişi öldürdü muhabbeti mi var? Önce şuna bakalım.
This is most definitely a Watson, there was a third shot fired in this.
Okay. Bak burada ikilen diyor. Tamam, gerçekten öyle bir adam vardı. Bir başka çıkarım var mı? Nathan'ın ifadesine uyuyor. Okay. Hayali adam hiçbirine uymuyor. Şimdi ne yapıyoruz? Memurla konuşacağız.
Constable Marrow,
It would be.
I would like to make sure that there are no places in Half Moon Street.
All right, Mr. Holmes, what should I do?
Take your lamp and start walking, just as you did before. And try to find me.
Understood.
Şu araya sıkıştı bence. Bak bu araya sıkıştı.
I can see you very well, Mr. Holmes.
All right, Constable. Let's try again. I'll find another place to hide.
Okay.
Here you are, Mr.
All right, Constable. Let's...
Çok içeri saklandı demek ki. Bence bizim adam yaptı ya. Şeyini
Mr.
görebilirim
Holmes.
ki.
It is obvious now. No one could escape Constable Marrow's lamp while hiding in the street.
Bu olayı tekrar canlı. Ethan tarafından anlatan havai fişekleri tekrar canlandır ve duvara tırmanmayı dene. Of, çocuğu haklı çıkartmak için yapıyoruz bunları da. İçeride de dağcıyı bulacağız bence. Bakalım.
These tools are This is exactly what we need in order to imitate the flash of the fire.
Wiggins,
Benim
my
çocuğa
lad, what are you
özenmiş.
doing?
I've done nothing wrong.
Oi,
Ne? Ben sizin sürekli atışmanızı mı dinleyeceğim?
Constable Marrow, Watson,
I'm listening, Mr.
I want to check if Leighton's testimony can be trusted. If someone could...
But Holmes, I don't see...
I am going to be the mysterious gentleman whom Leighton followed. I will stand exactly where he saw him before he was blinded by the flash. Watson, you will be Leighton. When I fire the signal flare, you should start to chase me.
I understand.
You, Constable Marrow, just play your part and do
Constable
exactly as
Marrow.
you did. Just, please, wait 5 seconds after the signal flare. I doubt that Polly Powell would have screamed any earlier.
As you say, Mr.
Let us begin then. This wall is cast in shadow. It would be difficult to see anyone.
Tırman tırman tırman
barely
hızlı
see
hızlı.
anything. Holmes? Are you there? Where is he? My God, a man can't just disappear like that.
Ya böyle kaybolurum işte bir anda. Böyle kaybedersin
Holmes?
beni.
Holmes, where
Look
are
up.
you?
I cannot see you, Mr. Holmes. Dr. Watson, it seems that Mr. Holmes has disappeared.
Don't worry, gentlemen, I am up here, above your heads.
How on earth did you get up there?
I am using crampons and a climbing axe, although the person we are looking for did not leave any traces of such tools. Constable, is there any way to get to the top of this building?
Yes, Mr. Holmes, I can show you. The door to the building can be found from Whitechapel Street.
Okey. Aşağı inmeseydin zaten çatıya gelmiştin yani. Ne gerek var? Bir adım atsan çatıdasın.
These shards of glass are from It's empty. A cluster of thick black threads. They're unusually strong. I should examine them under the microscope.
Şey mi? Halat gibi.
Someone broke through the window to... We can conclude that the person whom Leighton saw climbed up the wall, broke into the attic window, and escaped through the hatch.
Okey. Bunda başka bir şey yok mu? Tı tı tı tı tı.
Let us take a closer look. It is not a thread, but a hair. I need to compare this sample with a human hair and a horse hair. Watson, could you please pass me?
Here you are.
Thank you.
Watson, look, what's outside the window?
Where? I don't see anything. Ouch! Holmes!
Oh, don't make such a fuss. One little hair.
Saçını çektik.
Human hair is significantly thinner than the black sample. The horse hair is thinner than the hair that we found. So, this black hair belongs to an animal, and it is larger than a horse. A hair from a large and exotic animal.
Egzotik
My analysis table.
Keçi
It
mi
is
acaba?
useful.
Bir akrobatı olabilirmiş. Heh, doğru, Sirki tabi Wiggins çünkü. Wiggins'ten sorulur böyle şeyler, doğru tahmin etmişiz.
Mr. Holmes?
We have good news for you, Wiggins. The investigation has proven very interesting so far.
I knew
But for now, Wiggins,
anything you...
I need you to locate a circus that has stopped over in London. It needs...
You can count...
I do hope that those children don't get into trouble, Holmes.
Don't worry, Watson. I predict some news in 7 seconds.
7 seconds.
Mr. Holmes, we found it. Here it is.
Ya ben de buldum onları.
And this is a young Indian elephant. The Duval brothers. Well, I believe that is exactly the type of circus.
Tam bir haydutuz şu an.
Stay where you are. What are you doing here and where is Sherlock Holmes?
Ya
Calm down,
salak.
Watson. Take deep
Benim.
breaths now.
Oh, thank God, Holmes.
Thank you, Watson. That means I am ready to go.
I'm ready to go. Hallettim. Hallettim.
Who are you?
My name is Nigel. I'm here to open the locks.
Talented, eh? Let's see. Go inside the marquee and show
Charles
yourself
Foley.
to Charles Foley.
Aa,
I'd highly advise you not to trick him. Got that?
tanıyoruz onu. İsmini gördük Charles Foley'in. Rezalet.
So, everything is here just as you asked. And what about the money? Some of the barrels are wet. Transportation issues, it couldn't be helped. Whatever. We'll be here. I want to be paid first. Right. I hope that no one saw you. The police are on the lookout. Of course not. I'm a professional. Glad to hear it.
Profesyonel tipe bak
Be
ya.
ready for tonight then.
Onu da öğrendik.
This wooden barrel is damaged. There is a spot on this barrel that was intentionally painted out. This the crest of the Honourable Artillery Company. Could it be gunpowder? I need to be sure.
Evet.
Judging by the
Harika.
fractions and the
Daha bakabiliyor muyduk? Dur.
the barrels are roughly clustered. It seems as though they were brought here.
Barut çalmışlar.
From lambs into lions. That's a picture of a contemporary gentleman. This poster was clearly made. There are enough posters to paste across half of London.
Devrimci misiniz lan
This printing
siz?
press is old, but still quite... Powder kegs, a
Komünistler ya.
printing press, and a great many blank papers. All
Blok
of this was
kağıt
stolen
var.
by the merry
Blok
men
değildir o,
quite
bloktur
recently.
belki.
And these posts, I am quite sure it is not a coincidence.
Stop right here.
Are you Charles Foley?
Maybe.
They say that I can open any door.
Do they now? We'll see that lock near the chains on the table over there. Open that.
Açalım. Tipsiz. Korunaklı kasa. Aha, içi dolu bulldog, altı patları tepeci. Tamam, bu yapmış ya, belli oldu. Aa! Ulan. Ay, şey, camdan girdiğinde kesilmiş kolda. Pis akrobat. Hırsız. Al. Açayım da gör. Güzel. Al, açtım.
I need to find out.
Tamam, bu çalmış. Bunu da Vercotti mi ne o adam çalmış.
Ah,
Nigel Shirley.
Nigel from York. Never heard anything about you. How'd you hear about me?
Hangisini seçeceğim lan? Antika bileklik. Yanlış işaret.
Nigel from York. Never heard anything about you. How'd you hear about me?
Hapse atılmış hırsız.
It's a long story.
Heh. Gazetede
I met
ismini
your
de
brother,
okuyacağız işte.
Vincent the Butcher Foley, in prison. He told me all about his betrayal. Before I was released, he told me that you might find a job for me one day and pay me some money for...
Well, he died 7 days ago in prison.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. The traitor has paid the blood price for it. And you'll do the job anyway, because I need a talented lockpicker. I know just where to search for his...
It's all about the Hellenistic treasures in...
Osh, you fool. Now, listen up.
Önce bizimle
Us.
geliyorsun.
Wait, who's coming then?
Billy, Jack and me.
And what will I get for that?
We'll share the loot. The one you seem to...
Right.
Wait for us at the abandoned manor house on a corner of Ladbroke Grove and Kensington Park Road.
Deal.
Karaktersizler. Nottingham malikanesine gidelim bakalım. Tamam, bunun yaptığı belli oldu. Altı patları da var. Birazdan tutuklarız iş.
Here I am at the manor. This lock is quite old.
Heh. Oh, çok yordun.
I need to find where the safe is hidden and lockpick it.
Bulacağız. Lockpick de yapacağız. İçlerinden de geçeceğiz. Kafalarını da kopartacağız. Canlarına da okuyacağız. Her şeyi yapacağız. Bu ne be? Dikiş makinesi mi?
This cupboard is an Several books have fallen from... It seems as though this cupboard...
Evet, bulduk.
So,
Bu daha kolaydı. Bu en kolay. Kasayı kolay yapmışlar.
what a surprise. Another... I recall that precious key around Foley's neck. It might prove a decent fit. I suppose they hired me to only... Let us check the thieves' possible escape routes in the event that they are... This door is a perfect means of escape in an emergency. Now, if a thief... The traps for my circus companions are all prepared. I can leave now, but I'll return later with Charles Foley and his companions.
Police! Police!
İzleyemedik. Eğlenceliydi.
Stop where you are!
Stop where you
Where
are.
are they?
Trapped, Watson, with your assistance.
How so?
Oh, you sounded just like a real Bobby, my dear fellow. You startled them into the traps.
I did?
I assure you, Watson, it was quite an entertaining show. They will not escape the house now.
You scum!
And this is the pistol used for the murder in Half Moon Street.
How'd you know about...
Have you closed the case yet, Sherlock?
Geldi yine ya.
Mycroft, what are you doing here? Did you follow me?
Sherlock, it may seem that I used you, but you should be pleased to know that you have served our queen well, in this instance. So now, let us catch the big... But this man is not one of the merry men?
No.
Then why exactly are we here, Sherlock?
This gentleman, Charles Foley, has been involved in a double murder and the hunter of a set of valuable antiques. The Helen...
You're no better than the coppers.
Evet yok. Ya onlardan daha iyiyim çünkü. Bir farkım var. Daha iyiyim. Şuraya bak ya.
Holmes, that is incredible.
Indeed.
Nothing but trifles. Where are the merry men?
I don't know why you are asking me, Mycroft. They are yours to...
I'll see you soon,
Sevgile.
dear brother.
Hadi sevgile. Hadi. Evet. Tutukla tabii ki de. Karaktersiz poşet.
Charles Foley, you will be severely punished for...
You are pitiful.
Save
Yeah,
your
sus
words
be.
for the gallows. I'm sure the journalists will love them. I shall leave now, Watson. Gentlemen, please take our friends here into cut.
Where are you going?
İki
I have
kişi öldürdüm,
unfinished
ikiye
business.
suç
I'll
attım,
see
bir
you
de
at
tarihi
Baker
eser
Street.
kaçırdım. Bu ne be abi yani. İstemediğin suç yok.
Be careful with the lamps. Don't bring them too close to the barrels.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Who's there?
That is of no importance. What matters is who you are.
So you can stop us from carrying them.
Eventually, yes.
Hey, careful.
I'm listening.
We are a group known as the Merry Men. But I suppose you knew that already. We are the men who've already lost everything of value in their lives. We are ruined shopkeepers. We are workers who were fired from their jobs. Honest people who were robbed. We were forced out from our homes and thrown onto the street. And all of this in the name of the so-called law. The laws that were set out by our government. The laws that make the commoners only more vulnerable and the wealthy more protected. We are not only from the British Empire. Some of us are from the New Lands, America, Australia, and we are many. But men we are still, and we are merry for that we stopped being afraid. For those powers that be had done their best to plant the fear inside our souls, and we accepted it so easily. The fear advised us to keep our heads bowed. It prevented us from fighting. Bankers and politicians, they own our lives, our work, our bread, and they push us to compete between each other, just to see who may serve them better. But in the end, they are the few, so they are weak. They are nothing without their titles. We should
Ama bu
not
çok
fear
zor
them.
bir karar ya.
Our so-called masters should fear us instead. The time has come for our group to stand tall. Our great and many merry men. We are going to blow up the
Ama
London Stock
katillerle iş
Exchange.
yapıyorlar,
No
savunulacak
life shall be
yanları.
lost. But ownerships, debts, and property titles? They shall all be destroyed. They're only papers, after all. So many people will be freed over this night.
That is a radical step to take. What result do you truly expect?
Chaos. But soon people will understand that they are free, and that they don't belong to anyone. They will be able to work for themselves, together, without letting the rulers dictate what to do, and finally justice will arise.
What you are intending to do is a crime. It is not justice.
Evet
How do you
değil.
see justice then? Kids go to prison for a loaf of dry bread. And how many lords do you see punished for stealing from their people? Sending them to their deaths in mines or overseas to fight for land? Our masters wouldn't hear us. So now it's time to sing the song of the merry men. Will you let us do our duty?
Hayır abi, insanlar ölür. Asla böyle bir şey kabul edemem.
When people
İnsanlar ölür.
fight the order, they are too blind to see the consequences that throw society into chaos. I shall stop your actions, but not you. Run. Now!
Na. Run for your life. Kış kış. Allah Allah. 2 saat suç anlattım bana. Suç anlattı bana 2 saat. Anarşiklik anlattı bana.
So, you're interested in Russian literature now?
Quite lately.
It is an interesting book.
Really? I tried reading it myself, but
Yes, Doctor. It's about intelligence. Sherlock, I vaguely recall one of the lines. There were also a few words along the lines of pain and suffering are always inevitable for a large intelligence and a deep heart. Tell me, Doctor, does my brother show any signs of pain or...
not.
Because you see, Doctor, behind all of his masquerade, my brother does...
Well, I'm
Ay
sure
lütfen
that,
sus
his
Minecraft
love
ya.
and his duty that, in the first place, should be directed towards the Empire. For without it,
Ay hep zaten imparatorluk sayesinde oluyor her şey.
And the
Altta çalışanlar
empire
olmasa
needs order
imparatorluk
and
para
discipline.
kazanamaz.
It has no room for chaos.
people who commit crimes, or at the very least intend them, deserve punishment, Sherlock. Without justice, there can be no...
but we serve the truth, not
Medeniyet
justice.
dediğin
Your
tek
truth,
dişi
Doctor,
kalmış canavar.
that may prove immoral,
Komünizm.
allowing people to
Hep bu
terrorize
komünistler
London,
yüzünden böyle.
destabilizing the whole empire.
Terrorize only the powers whom you serve, Mycroft. Not I, not Watson, not Mrs. Hudson, not Wiggins.
Sherlock, the merry men are to be stopped.
Not
Bana
by
ne
me.
ya?
You
Durdurun o zaman.
created the merry men. Stop them yourself.
Evet.
Only make sure
Siz
you don't
yarattınız, siz
create 10
durdurun.
more merry men by arresting the one.
Good night, Dr. Watson.
Sevgili. Sevgili.
Anything in the post,
Öyle
Watson?
yazıyordu az önce.
Any clients worthy of our...
Only a second reminder from Mrs. Hudson about our new neighbour. She urges you to remove your...
Oh, I don't care about that.
Holmes, the lady who will be moving in shortly has requested the use of our spare room to place all of her boxes.
Wait, what?
Woman. Evet.